Talk a little bit more about this and the legal implications as well. Judge Andrew Napolitano, a former New Jersey Superior Court judge, with us now. Twitter obviously has gotten a lot of attention over the years about this, and there have been a lot of questions as to whether Twitter could have violated any laws, maybe breached the First Amendment. But what they're doing is not technically illegal, is it?
Well, good morning, Adrienne and Mitch. A pleasure to be on with you. You're right. It is not illegal. I mean, we start with the premise that the First Amendment only regulates the government. So even though it says Congress shall make no law, today that means that no government shall make any law or do anything that infringes upon the freedom of speech. But that does not prevent private entities from doing so. So Twitter, think of it as a private bulletin board. They can post and take down whatever they want, because they have political biases like the rest of us. However, if they're doing the government's bidding, if Twitter was doing this as a favor to FBI agents or DHS agents or some group in the government that did not want Trump to get reelected, then Twitter has a serious problem on its hands. But if it's just Twitter, its employees, its management, its shareholders expressing opinions by suppressing speech, as unlikable as that is, that anybody's speech is suppressed, they can do it, and they can do it legally.
They can do it legally. It just may not be in the public's best interest, according to some. You say that to protect all speech, we should protect the speech we hate. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, there's been a lot of hate speech lately, particularly Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has said horrific things that are extremely offensive to nearly all rational people about Hitler and about the Nazis. And the issue arises, should he be able to say that? And the short answer is yes, he should be able to say whatever he wants. I mean, we have the freedom to think as we wish and say what we think and publish what we say. I say publish, meaning you can say it like I'm saying it now on a national network. And the Supreme Court has ruled that even speech we hate, even speech that hurts and stings by its very words, it's just speech. And the remedy for it is not to suppress it or silence it. The remedy is more speech, to challenge it. So even though I hate what Ye says, I'll defend to the death his right to say it.
You know, another name that has been coming up besides Ye is Hunter Biden. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy says that lawmakers will subpoena these 51 intelligence agents who allegedly discredited the Hunter Biden laptop story as Russian disinformation. What's the end game here? We keep hearing about the Hunter Biden laptop story. Are these officials, these intelligence officials, potentially going to face any legal repercussions, or is this all hyperbole?
I think this is probably an effort by the Republicans in the House, who now have a very slim majority, but a majority nevertheless, to expose what they believe were shenanigans by rogue members of the intelligence and law enforcement community. So they were providing information, snippets of information to big tech in an effort to frame the dialogue. You know, again, if they did that as rogue individuals on their own, just happen to be intelligence agents who happen to be whispering things into the ear of big tech's management, there's no crime. But if there's a quid pro quo, if the government is asking for a favor and giving a favor in return, then big tech has a very serious issue on its hands. Then, Adrienne, the First Amendment could be imposed on big tech, which would prevent it from discriminating on the basis of the content of speech. So Twitter kicked off Donald Trump because they hated him. They didn't want him to get reelected, and they didn't like what he said. And they didn't like the MAGA response to what he said. They can do it if they did it for political reasons. But if they did it as a benefit to somebody in the government, and then that government entity gave Twitter a benefit in return, then Twitter has a very serious constitutional issue on its hands.
We'll see if that's any chapter in this Twitter files saga that we've been following. Judge Andrew Napolitano, thank you, as always, for your time.
More to come, Adrienne. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.